has been identified as William Deshaun Hamilton, a 6-year-old child from Charlotte, North Carolina, who had recently relocated to Atlanta with his mother shortly before his death. Of another, in connection with the death of young William. Defendant Black was arrested on June 29th of 2022 in Phoenix, Arizona, where she resides. She is awaiting extradition to DeKalb County. Once here, she will be arraigned and the case will be set for trial at a date to be determined. Because this is an open and pending case, we can't go into many specifics, but I can offer this timeline based on our investigation. December of 1998, William Hamilton is withdrawn from school in Charlotte. February of 1999, an unidentified child's body is found in a wooded area in DeKalb County. May of 2020, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children receives a tip regarding the unidentified remains. February 2022, Teresa Bailey Black is identified as a suspect. February of 2022, the unidentified remains are identified as 6-year-old William Hamilton. June of 2022, Teresa Bailey Black is indicted and then arrested in Phoenix, Arizona. We are currently seeking the public's assistance. According to the investigation, Teresa Ann Bailey briefly worked at an establishment in Atlanta known as Pleasers and may have been obtaining assistance from the Atlanta Day Shelter for Women and Children. We are asking anyone who may have known or interacted with Miss Bailey or with young William during that time here in the metro area in 1998 or 1999 to please call our cold case tip line. You can remain anonymous. That number is 404-371-2444. While this is the beginning of the criminal aspect of this case, it brings to close decades of unanswered questions. We would not be here today without the dogged determination of so many dedicated partners. But let me start with my team. Thank you to Lance Cross, Director of our Major Crimes Unit, Shannon Hodder, Deputy Chief Assistant District Attorney in our Trial Division, and Supervising Investigator Matt McClendon for believing in this case and leaving no stone unturned. They have poured countless hours into this investigation and will lead the prosecution of this case. Also, a special mention to Senior Assistant District Attorney Agatha Romanowski and Senior Investigator Crispin Henry with our Saki team for their preliminary work on this case. Thank you to the DeKalb County Police Department, specifically Chris Harvey, who served as the lead investigator on this case in 1999. He now serves as the Deputy Director with the Georgia Peace Officer Standards and Training Council, or POST. Also, Lieutenant Adam Quigley, who is currently working the investigation with our team and lending his expertise and equal amounts of passionate determination to uncovering the truth and obtaining justice for William. You'll hear from representatives in just a moment, but let me also thank the DeKalb County Medical Examiner's Office and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Before I turn this podium over, allow me to extend a huge debt of gratitude to you, the public, for keeping this case on your hearts and on your minds for decades. We look forward to bringing justice on behalf of William Deshaun Hamilton, an unknown name and face no more. I'd like now to invite our partners up for a few remarks before answering any questions. First, Director Pat Bailey with the DeKalb County Medical Examiner's Office.
Good morning, Madam DA, to my DeKalb partners. This is a great day for our office. The medical examiner has not let this case rest over the past 23 years. I was shaken when we got a name. We developed a nickname for him in our office. We called him Dennis. just to give the child a name. And now, William can rest in peace. I appreciate the hard work and the dedication, and I look forward to anything the ME's office can provide to provide in the assistance of prosecution. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Bailey. And finally, I'd like to invite to the podium Angeline Hartman, Communications Director for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the agency that received the tip that was critical to helping us break this case. But Angeline has a very special connection to this case. She was a local reporter on the scene when young William's body was recovered. She covered the story extensively while here and on a national platform with America's Most Wanted and on her podcast, Inside Crime. The point is that Angeline has never forgotten this case and has done her best to keep it in the public forefront. We appreciate her dedication to seeking answers and helping us pursue justice. Angeline.
Well, you know I have to hug you after. Wow. Thank you, DA Boston, for those very kind words. That's so special to me. And I know all of us feel very connected to William. So many people feel very connected to William. I just want to say thank you to you and your team and all of the investigators before now who brought us to this day. Thank you for putting up with me over the years. We always knew that there were answers out there. As you know, the break in this case happened when someone called the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children after seeing that reconstruction photo. We know that images like this work, and that's why we ask people to take the time, just take a moment out of your day to look. You never know when you're going to be that one person. It just takes one call. In this case, the woman who called the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children knew William, and she knew William's mother very well. For more than 20 years, she wondered what happened to William. And she always felt that something wasn't right. She made it her personal mission to find him. And when I say she made it her personal mission, that is not an understatement. She was actively searching for William every single day. I spent the day with her on Monday, and I want to share with you some of the things that she said about William in her own words. William was like a shining star. William was fun. He liked to draw and read books. He didn't want you to read to him. He wanted to read to you. But William didn't want to read children's books. He liked to read the dictionary and the encyclopedia. And when he read, William wanted you to sit up and listen to him. William was going to grow up to be somebody. I so wanted him to be alive. I wanted William to know that I never stopped looking for him. I loved William. Her name is Ava. She prefers to keep her last name private. His name was William Deshawn Hamilton.
Thank you, Angeline. And thanks to all of you. We'll now open the floor to questions.
There's so many other cases, and just like Angeline was saying, the importance of coming forward. Can you speak a little bit about, the difference that really makes in a case like this and so many others?
In this case, we would have never been able to identify William nor seek justice without someone from the public coming forward. I mean, for years, we were unable to identify him, to give him his name, to say his name, let alone seek justice. So this is an example, and we say this to the public, tips are so meaningful. They mean something whether it's a tip or the day after something happens or 20 years later. It makes a difference.
And now that we're at this point, finally have some closure, how will the prosecution move forward? Is that going to really come down to these people continuing to call in and give information to help build the case, hopefully?
Well, we are prepared, and the grand jury indicted this case with what we've been able to uncover with our investigation. But obviously, anyone that saw anything in 1998 or 1999 that knew Teresa Bailey, now Black, or recognizes William now that we've identified him, we want to hear from them. That's why this tip line is so important. Anybody that might have witnessed anything during that time period could provide critical additional information that will be essential in the prosecution of this case.
Tell us about the arrest made in Phoenix. When had she left, or I guess moved away from the DeKalb County area? And do you have any details? I don't know if anyone from your office was present for that arrest. Did she say anything? Was anything learned during that process?
So because this is an ongoing case and we are getting ready to pursue this in court, we cannot give any information about what she may or may not have said during the investigation and during her arrest. But we look forward to those facts coming out in court.
Can you at least comment on when she left the DeKalb, I guess moved away from the DeKalb County area and started living elsewhere?
We believe that she left DeKalb almost immediately after William's death.
And was he ever reported missing? Was he ever on a registry or anything?
No.
And as far as IDing him, was it simply through that tipster, or I think you might have mentioned it, was there anything with DNA evidence here, and sort of, was that only possible with, current evidence or technology? Would this have been possible, 5, 10, 15 years ago?
Once we had a name and he was identified and we could figure out who his parents were, that's when we were able to obtain DNA to establish that the remains that we had were in fact William Deshaun Hamilton.
And did that DNA, that sweatshirt, those boots, all that clothing that was, shown quite often over the years, was the DNA pulled from those items?
Actually from his skeletal remains.
And our apologies for being a bit late, but can you revisit the circumstances surrounding his death?
Well, the circumstances is that his body was found decomposed in a shallow grave in a wooded area at Clifton Springs and Clifton Church Springs Road in DeKalb back in 1998, 99.
And do you know how long his body had been in that shallow grave?
We believe that it had been in the grave for several months when he was located, based on the decomposition of the body at that time.
And beyond this tipster, back in 1999, was there, William's father, other family members, other people close to him that were searching for him, that reported William as missing in some jurisdiction, just sort of, it seems sort of, was the mom the only one that knew him? And
William was not reported missing. And so therefore, no one was necessarily looking for him. What we know is that people ask questions, but he was not declared a missing child at that point. So when we discovered his body, when police started their investigation, we had no idea whom this child was. And so imagine the search radius when you are trying to identify a child that has not yet, in fact, been declared missing. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack.
especially with them having just moved. Do we know what brought them to the DeKalb County area when they moved?
We do not, not that I can share right now. And we're, of course, looking for more information for the short period of time that Miss Bailey, at the time, now Miss Black, lived in the area.
And the investigation definitely pointed to this being a homicide and not a death of any natural causes or anything.
Yes, we have a reason to believe that it is a homicide.
Okay, Angeline, question for you.
Sure.
What about this case that we never stopped? We have covered, you and George Most Wanted together, a lot of cases. But tell me what about this one here?
I mean, I think from day one, this case bothered anybody who knew about it. Those who were out at the scene, whether they were investigators or the media. When you hear about a child, especially At that time, we didn't know how young, but we knew that it had to be a child because of just from what we saw at the scene, right? We knew that this was a young person. And anytime something like this happens involving a young person, that just hits you. And now, over the years, to know, we just kept trying and develop more information and to see these composites, to see these images, I felt closer to him over the years. And I know we all cared for him in a special way, but that connection, I can't explain it. I think we all feel it. And today is a day that we had hoped would happen. And even though we had hoped it would happen all this time, it's still hard to believe that we're really here. And we're just so grateful to everybody who worked so hard on this. So.
Quick question out of curiosity, was William Teresa's only child?
I'm not going to comment right now on who Teresa Bailey Black is now. Again, I think that'll be information that will come out during the trial. All right. Thank you so much for being here.